Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Andrew Krause. I'm one of the co-founders here at inventRight. We have Robert Kraft on today, and the main topic, we're going to hit several topics, is going to be becoming a full-time inventor. If that's your dream, you can listen to Robert's path. He's not there yet, but you can see by him telling his story how you could get there and how he's probably going to get there pretty soon and what he's thinking about. So I think this video is going to be very encouraging. We're also going to talk about staying in an industry. We're going to talk about um, when a company hasn't done licensing deals before, how you guide them. Robert's becoming quite the pro, or already really is a pro, if you ask me, at these things. So he's going to share his experience from you. And I know it means a lot to you guys when you get an inventor that wasn't there and is now there, and it's all fairly recent. Robert licensed a product it was about 2 years ago, Robert?
Yeah, this product right here, the
Yeah,
Jumper King, yeah.
yeah, and I interviewed him, and then we were talking just earlier this week, and he was talking about his dream of going full time. He has a HVAC company, and he is licensing part time, and he talked about how he'd like to be licensing full time, and so we're going to talk about his journey there. So, Robert, very impressive. You licensed 2 years ago. Okay, licensed one product. It's fun. But now when you told me that you licensed four more products, and they aren't all to the same company, they're to different companies.
Mhm.
Within the last 6 months, I was like, damn. And then when you said, I am wanting to go full time, I said, there's a story there. So I wanted to bring you on, and you immediately, it was very nice of you. You're like, yeah, I'll come on, Andrew. I'll share my story. So that's very
Yeah,
nice.
absolutely.
Now, did you close these four deals in the last 6 months? Just have you only been working on the last 6 months? Can you tell the story there? Let's help people get real there.
Yeah, so, some of these ideas I've been working on for a couple of years, uh, but the last 6 months, I've really dialed in the licensing agreements and secured the agreements. What I'm actually getting good at is kind of structuring the agreements to where it's a win-win situation, right?
Mm,
So I have deadlines, I have terms, I have upfront money, and a lot of these things that I thought at the beginning, like I'm asking for way too much, but I'm actually making them have some skin in the game as well, so
yeah.
they can't just sit this product on the shelf and do nothing with it. So they have deadlines and things like that, or else there's penalties, and it's all done in a professional way. But I learned all this from you guys, years ago when I took your course. So it's really gave me a lot of knowledge into the negotiation side with these companies. And once you establish a relationship with these companies, it's much easier to talk about those kind of things,
Yeah.
and things like that. So
Yeah, but
it's
what's
been
really
pretty fun.
impressive, it's not like you established a relationship with one, you got super comfortable, and you licensed five products to them. You got five products and five companies, or at least five products and four companies, I forget which. But
Yeah.
that's impressive. That's really it shows that you're making relationships throughout the HVAC industry because these are all HVAC products, and you have an
Yep.
HVAC company.
Mhm.
And getting back to the discussions, the negotiations, it's not all about the contract, is it? I mean, a lot of it is interviewing them about what they're going to do. I mean, if you get into a contract, you get really solid terms in the contract, but they weren't really committed to begin with. You got to verify that they're committed to this project. Do you interview them quite a bit about what they're going to do with it, what their vision is, and all that? And that comes before the contract, right?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I'm working on. I actually have a call after this meeting today with
Oh, okay.
a new company with a new product, and I'm walking them through the negotiation side of things. I have two products. The one I'm talking about today, after this meeting, we haven't signed a deal yet. We're real close to signing a deal, but I'm actually coaching them on how licensing works, and I sent them the agreement, and you know kind of educating them on how it all works, because they at first, they when I told them the recommended royalty percentage, they were like, wow, our sales guys make this, and that seems like quite a bit more. And I realized, I explained to them that it's not a commission. This is more you're renting my product from me, and
Mhm.
the sales guys already take a finished product and sell it. I'm
Right.
creating the product. So when
Yeah.
I explained all that to them, they really felt comfortable with the percentage of royalty that I'm asking from them, which is 15%, by the way, which is
Holy crap. All right.
yeah,
Hey
pretty good
guys,
royalty
be
rate.
careful. In his situation, it might make sense. That's not that typical.
Well, you know what how I determine that is the size of the market, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
size of the market on this particular product isn't that big. So if you're selling something in Walmart that's
Mm,
thousands a
sure.
day, you're going to get a 1.5%, three
Sure.
percent, whatever. But
Sure.
this is kind of a small niche,
Lower volume.
way lower volume.
Can
So
yeah,
I
can that's a perfect situation where that can make sense. Absolutely. Yeah, but
correct, yeah.
you're a real pro, and the thing that you guys need to realize is when you get a company, and quite often, and my guess is it's a great company for his product, but sometimes they've never done a licensing deal before. And Robert, that is always more painful, but it seems like even that difficulty, you're doing good at educating them, and you're able to close deals with companies that have never done licensing deals before. That shows you're a real pro, man. Um,
Well, thank you very much. I couldn't have done it without you guys. You guys taught me a lot about licensing, and I kind of took it from there, and a little bit of trial and error. But I have this other company that I already have a signed agreement with that's never done a licensing agreement. Now they're reaching out to other inventors. Other inventors are reaching out to them to do licensing agreements. But I was the guinea pig that
yeah,
started it
you,
all.
you paved the
You know,
path for them.
I
So
paved the
let's
path.
talk a
Yeah,
little bit about which is the main topic of the interview is let's talk about going full time. You had mentioned,
Mhm.
oh, I want to go full time. And I said, well, you never want to go full time if you license one product. I don't care if it's making you a quarter million a year. You know, you never know when that product could stop selling. And
Mhm.
so you need to support your family. Everybody's situation is different. But the proper time to quit your day job is when you've got at least two, maybe three products licensed so that if one drops off because they decide to stop selling it, you've still got income coming in from multiple. Now you're definitely already there. In your mindset though, you part of you may love your HVAC business and you're not ready to give it up or whatever. But in my opinion, with your level of the fact that you're guiding companies that haven't done licensing deals to close those deals, that's one of many indicators you're a pro. Just the fact that you've closed all these deals, you're getting very comfortable with the process. So, in my opinion, if you wanted to, well, how many products do you have royalties coming in from at this moment? Just one, right? And these other ones,
Just one.
yeah. So, guys, these products, and there's a reason why you can't talk about his other products yet. You're just holding up the one product you licensed a couple years ago. Can you hold that up real
Yeah,
quick?
this one it was a huge seller, and it's changed the HVAC industry on how they start
What
systems.
is it, real quick?
It's called the Jumper King. It's a diagnostic tool that bypasses the thermostat. It finds low voltage shorts. It's basically a bypass tool on steroids.
Nice.
You have switches on here, a magnet, and leads, and different kind of tips and stuff like that. But it's a really you know useful tool to the industry. And the reason why I like inventing, first of all, I realized that God gave me a gift on being creative. I've always, as a little kid, I would take my Hot Wheels and make them better or make the wheels roll faster. I've always been that type of guy, you know.
Yeah.
But it's I love the fact of making a difference in the industry. I don't do this for the money. I mean, of course, the money's great, but I do this out of it's a passion that comes within my soul. I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
want to. I love creating products, and that's why I want to do it full time. Because to be a full time inventor, and you could do it anywhere in the world. I could be on the beach on my laptop or with my sketch pad inventing products. I don't need to be anywhere. It's
Hmm.
it's a it's not a 9 to 5 job. Some days I work 10 hours on an idea, some days an hour, some days nothing. Once it's into the company's hands and they're working on manufacturing it, I kind of just sit back and then kind of guide them and make sure the ball keeps rolling, and
Right.
then I can work on other ideas while that ball is rolling. So yeah, once I get 4 or 5 products on the market, I think I'll have enough income coming in to where I can do this full time. support my family
How long did
and
it
really
take
dive
for
into it.
them to bring that first product you just showed to market? How from the time you cut the licensing deal to the time it hit the market, how long did that take?
That was about probably about almost 3 years, and there's a reason.
Whoa, that was really
There's a
wow, that was really, really long. Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that the universe threw at me. The original one had a computer chip in it, and that's when we had the computer chip shortages. We had
Oh,
COVID,
okay,
COVID
got it.
in the middle of it. A lot
Right.
of things that the universe threw at me that kind of
How long do
delayed
you
things.
think these new ones that you are have licensed are going to take to get to market? You think maybe about 10 months to a year and a half or so? What do you think?
That's about right. Yeah, because I have three that are supposed to hit this September, and I
Oh,
signed the
good.
licensing deals around a year ago. In fact, one company in the licensing agreement they had 1 year to get it on the market. Well, it's not on the market yet, so they're actually paying me a certain amount of money every
Oh,
month
okay.
until that gets
All
on the
right. Hold
market.
like a
Yeah,
holding fee. Wow. Okay. You're getting
that's
good
right.
at negotiating this stuff, man. That's
Yeah,
impressive. So my advice to you would be, everybody has a different life and different things they want to do and stuff. But if you were being conservative and just generally for the people listening, you've got one product that's earning you royalties. And these products, one's coming out in September. And then usually, the first quarter when you sell, it's less, right? If you
mm,
get paid your royalties quarterly every quarter. So, I mean,
excuse
maybe
me.
like September of next year. So like you can see this product is earning royalties because it's slower at the beginning and then starts to ramp up. And then another one hits and another one hits. So maybe when you've got three products that have been earning royalties for half a year, 9 months or something, that's a pretty comfortable place to be. And then it goes to four and five. And you need to figure out what you're doing with your HVAC business and everything. But I think you're going to be there pretty soon. And I think just like having this conversation is so beneficial for our audience because they can start visualizing it themselves. Like if I want to go full, and somebody could license one product, be earning a quarter million a year, and could they quit their day job? Yes. But I'm very conservative. So like what if the royalties go to zero overnight because they stop selling the product? I think a very safe space is where you're going to be pretty soon, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Um,
mean, everything has like its peak, and then it starts dropping. In fact, this tool here is starting, it's kind of peaked out basically, and it's actually dropping sales just a little bit because there's been a couple small issues with this, like the switches would have an issue or things like that. So the 2.0 version of this is coming out in September actually,
hmm,
and that's the same royalty agreement, all that. I'm locked into this with the company for 5 years. So
nice.
that's going to revamp the sales, I would imagine, because there's a lot of improvements that we've done from the feedback of the market with this. This has been out 2 years, and it's been a steady seller. But I think it's going to revamp some sales once
Yeah.
the improved version comes out. The 2.0, I'm calling it.
And I mean, contracts are typically 3 or 5 years, but most of the
Mm,
time, with all our members that have licensed stuff for the last 25 years, they just keep selling it beyond that. I mean, it's kind of not that relevant, the length of the agreement, because like, why would you want to pull it? Why would they want to stop selling it if it's selling well? So the length of the
yeah.
agreement's not that relevant. But you're right, you're improving it, and it gives them another reason to keep going. You're giving them the 2.0 version, or they're developing the 2.0 version, same
Mm,
contract, just going to keep going. So
yeah.
are you torn between like when do you like I'm telling you I should really listen to what you have to say and everybody should. I'm telling you what I'm advising you to do when I'm advising you to change. There's an emotional component to it too. Obviously,
Mm.
if you didn't have your HVAC business, you'd have a lot more time to license. You could license a lot of products. When are you
Mm.
thinking you're going to do it? When do you think it's right for you?
I'm thinking mid next year,
Mm-hmm.
because by then, like you mentioned, the product the a lot. I think three products are coming out this September out of the five, and so it's going to take a while for them to get on the market and start selling and things like that. So once I start like receiving, and I'm getting monthly royalty checks, by the way. A
A
lot of them
monthly,
want,
that's unusual for your first
yeah,
product.
they wanted to do quarterly. One company wanted to do annually, and I said
No.
I can't do annually.
Yeah.
So these are monthly royalty checks. I ask them for statements. I have the authorization to, if I see anything that's kind of that doesn't really add up, I can audit them. All that's in
Sure.
the agreement. So once I'm getting 3 or 4 royalty checks from these products, I think it's comfortable for me to quit my day job and really go hard in this. And then I want to go into other industries as well. I would like to
Yeah,
be in
let's
at least 2 or 3 industries and start creating relationships within those industries, because I've been successful in the HVAC industry. Even from this one product, I'm kind of, I don't know, I don't want to, I'm a very humble guy, but I'm pretty well respected from just this one product as being an inventor, right?
mhm. Mhm.
Um, and so once these other companies are kind of hearing about me, and I'm all over social media, and so I'm kind of respected in this industry, and it helps me establish these relationships. They take me seriously when I bring them a product. They're
Right.
like, wow, this
Right.
this guy, he's a professional inventor, and he kind of knows what he's doing.
And you're a
And so
HVAC guy, you're an industry professional too,
that's
right?
right. Yeah, I've been in HVAC for 35 years, so I'm
Yeah.
respected in that aspect as well. So that's why I've concentrated on just this industry, on these tools, because I have the credibility and the experience and things like that. But my dream is to be into 2, 3 other
Mhm.
industries, and not too many industries. I don't want to but get it too far out there. But the
Right.
main thing is creating relationships. I mean, literally, some of these companies that I've been dealing with on these products, I can call them or send them, and show them a picture on a napkin of, hey, I got this idea.
Because they
I don't,
know you that well and they can go, nah, no, or they can go, oh, interesting. Yeah, why don't you develop more?
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's a really cool spot to be in. So when I come up with a product, I kind of already know who to reach out to on, with, because even in the HVAC industry, certain companies deal with certain aspects of the HVAC industry. So
Mhm.
my tool might not fit, this manufacturer, but it would fit this manufacturer really well. And so I'd reach
Right.
out to them, so I'm in a really good spot. It's taken quite a few years of hard work and a
Sure.
lot of learning and training and trial and error. But I mean, I'm getting goosebumps right now because I love inventing. I mean, it's such a cool industry. It's different. It's not like the average accountant. Like my wife's an accountant. It's like, okay, well, that's cool. But when I tell people I'm an inventor, and I can tell people that now, they're like, wow, like really? Do you own patents? Yeah, I have 8 patents. Wow, really? And it's just a cool.
They always think so with the patents, right? It's more like, are you getting royalty checks? Should be
Yes,
the
yeah.
exciting part. Are people
I tell
enjoying
my
your
neighbor,
product?
I say, when I come out in my Hugh Hefner robe and my slippers to grab my royalty checks, I've made it.
Yeah, it was
you know,
funny.
Okay, you've got a great product idea and you're not quite sure what to do. Or maybe you've got inventory in your garage because you were selling your product on Amazon and you don't want to continue doing it, but you want someone to help you license your idea to a company to bring it to market for you. We have a new program that's called Gateway, where we do all the work for you. We'll find the right companies and the right people to make sure your product is pitched correctly to get the licensing deal. This new program is called Gateway. If you're interested, please check it out.
I
um,
think it's smart. I think it's smart to diversify. I mean, I would never leave the HVAC industry with your expertise and these relationships you built up, and that's I would make that your priority. More products always for the HVAC industry. But I think you'll really enjoy diversifying. I know you're working on a small kitchen appliance now,
yep.
right? And
Yep.
and then maybe have one other. I would just generally making a general statement for everybody watching. I wouldn't recommend 8 industries, but I think with what Robert talked about, like 2 or 3, I think that makes sense. So if he can build up in maybe 2 other industries, the reputation and just sending a lot of products like he has in the HVAC industry over the years, then he'll be in a strong position. But 8,
Absolutely.
you would be spreading yourself too thin. You know what I mean?
You,
And
you, you wouldn't be able to create good relationships. It would be too spread out, in my opinion.
right, right. So you're having to kind of think about what those industries are, and and I think that's a very important part of your journey with going to be a full-time inventor. What are those 2 other industries that you want to build? What you've built a business. You've built a
Hmm.
business, you've built relationships with these HVAC companies. you know, they know you, and that's great. And what are those two other industries you want to build in? So when you guys are watching, I think just seeing that Robert has done this and he's going to be where he wants to be very soon, it's okay. You guys can dream that you want to be there sometime, but you got to do the work that he's done. And I think at the beginning, it does make a lot of sense to stay in one industry like he has. And you don't have to be an HVAC professional. So like let's say you love kitchen. You're not a professional cook. If you send enough products and you really study the industry and you want to do enough kitchen gadgets, they could know you just as well as they know Robert, you know, but you don't have to be a professional in that industry. You become well known. It is nice that he's an HVAC professional, and I think in HVAC it probably makes sense because like what average consumer is getting an HVAC if that's not what they do, right? Occasionally I
Right.
do see inventors try to do that, and that's kind of hard. And sometimes I'll see somebody that like they spent a lot of time in a hospital because they were a patient or had family that was a patient, and they start inventing hospital related products, and I think that's fine.
Mhm.
But so
It's
staying in
basically,
industry has really benefited you, hasn't it?
oh, it has. What I like about the HVAC industry and creating these HVAC tools is I like to give back to the industry that's given me so much. You know, the HVAC industry has provided me a great lifestyle, a lot of opportunity, and things like that. So that feels good. But as far as getting into other industries, what I like to do, like, you know, I had a friend ask me, like, when you quit your HVAC job, you're not going to be out there, you know, every day uh, coming up to these problems and creating solutions for them. And I'm like, well, when I look at if I look at whatever industry it is, like the kitchen industry or the toy industry, I look at I just focus in on what do I have problems with? Like if I'm cooking something, what is kind of annoying me, you know, about
Right,
what I'm doing here? And if I find something that annoys me, I kind of focus on what that is and start digging into that aspect of products and what how can I fix it? What can I add to it? And I'll sit there
right.
literally in bed at night, just you know, with my eyes closed, you know, brainstorming basically. And I
Well,
love that.
and
It's like a
well,
peaceful state of mind that I get into when I start, you
yeah,
know,
I think you
brainstorming.
can do it without being in the industry. I mean, you've been
That's
in the
right.
industry for 35 years. What new product problems are going to come up? And you could always
Yeah.
call your HVAC buddies and just tell them, you could say, hey, whenever something irritates you, just tell me all the things that irritate you. You could go out to pizza or buy them a beer or something, and you just say,
Hmm.
can you bitch to me about all the things that bug you about this job? And then
Yeah.
you come up, and they're not coming up with inventions, they're coming up with problems, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna keep up to date on all the latest problems with HVAC, you know?
Right.
And
Right.
there are some that are coming about now because the products are kind of changing. So you could easily be kept up to date with whatever is new from that's not within your 35 years of experience, and you don't have to be working full-time HVAC to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that kitchen appliance I'm working on, I was surprised, like, I had a problem, right? I like, "Okay, this is kind of annoying," and I looked into it, and I was surprised that I didn't really see anything that I envisioned on fixing that problem, so I started
Yeah.
researching, and it's like, wow, I think, whenever you think that, like, this should already be on the market and it's really not, you know, at this point in my research, that's when you go, "Ah, I might have something here," you know?
Yeah, yeah, you
So,
and I looked at it. There was nothing like what you were trying to do out there. Yet
yeah.
there's a demand for it.
Mhm.
We can't get into the specifics. And I do want
Sure.
to invite you back as you can't talk about these four new products you licensed
Yeah.
because they're not on the market yet. But when they are on the market, I'd love to have you back and talk about that. And also have you back, especially once you go full time. So let's
Oh,
bring you
that'd be
back
great.
once you go full time. You're like, and be totally honest. Like, okay, here's the downsides. Like, I don't have the same structure that I had
Yeah.
with HVAC, but I've got a whole new structure, whatever things you're struggling with so people can start to think about. I mean, who else is doing YouTube shows about inventing full time and what that means? Nobody. So if people could
Mhm.
come back and listen to you talk about your experience and making that transition, you know, they might even not even have licensed their first product, but if they can see it and they can envision it, they can license that first one, then the second one, the third one, the fourth one, fifth one, just like you have and get there.
Yeah.
So we
I
definitely
think the
got to have
first
you back.
one's the tough, you know, of course, the toughest because
Sure.
You're not really, just like anything in life. The first one is a little bit tough, but once you get that down, then you get the confidence. And like I said, I say all the time, without your guys's licensing course that I took and having my coach and taking me all through the licensing process, I would have, I don't know where I would be to this day. After that course, I kind of, had a good foundation to start with and kind of branch out on my own. And now that I have, 5 products that I'm working on, I'm much more confident. And, I'm kind of like an eagle, like, you guys, fed me when I was a little baby, and then you just threw me off the thing, and now I'm flying, and I was crooked at first, but now I'm starting to fly good, and I'm
Yeah.
confident, and
See,
it's a good place
now
to
you're
be.
this big, powerful eagle seeking out your prey, potential licensees, and
That's
you're
right.
swooping down and grabbing them up.
That's right, and it's such a good feeling,
I love that.
it's a good feeling to be where I'm at now, and any one that's out there listening, just keep going. If this is a passion of yours, then you should be doing this. You should be inventing, and
Thank you.
with InventRight, behind you, uh, you'll be fine. Just keep at it. It's
Very cool.
yeah, it's awesome. I'm excited to be where I'm at. I wish I would have done this much earlier in my life, but you know, it is what it is.
I hear that a lot, but there's just not a
Yeah.
lot of people to help with licensing.
No, you
Friends
guys
and
weren't
family
around.
don't understand it. They just think, oh, you got to start your own business, and that's your only option. They don't understand this licensing option. So, you know,
Oh, in early 2000s, I had some ideas, and I thought you have to have millions of dollars, you have to have this and that, and
yeah,
it's not true. And once I realized the licensing, literally this tool here, I have not one penny into this tool, besides,
yeah,
of course, IP, patents and things
right,
like that.
sure.
But the manufacturer does all the tooling, the marketing, the packaging, the whole 9 yards. And that's what's so cool about licensing, is you don't have to
Mhm.
have a ton of money to get it going. You know,
Yeah,
um,
I mean, you worked hard with your HVAC business over all these years and probably saved up some money. You don't want to mortgage your house and home in order to launch these products. Let those companies risk that money, you
that's
know,
right.
and
Yeah,
bring them something cool, bring them something creative, something that makes sense because they don't have that creativity, most of them. I'm not saying
yeah,
all
and
companies
and,
don't, give them
and they
something they
have the
don't have.
distribution. The
Yes.
distribution is huge.
Yeah.
I couldn't get these in all the supply houses. There's no way that
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can do that. So that's why they make more money, because they're very valuable. They have a team of salespeople, and all the whole 9 yards. And
Right.
so once it's on the market, it's all up to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's I
Well,
love
Robert,
licensing.
thank you for coming on and sharing your experience. I think it's going to be very encouraging to you guys listening to him talk about his journey. It's very impressive what he's done so far, but I think it's going to be even more impressive what he does. I mean, when you come back and eventually, like, you're in 2 or 3 industries and you're a pro in those just as much as you are HVAC. But while you're working on that, I would never neglect keep coming up with products for HVAC because you've got this pipeline, you've got this respect.
Right.
You've got this relationship. Like, you can show them a napkin sketch sometimes, and they're like, eh. You're like, okay, won't waste time on that one, and
Yep.
I'll come up with another one. That's a really beautiful place to be. And then eventually you can do that with the other industries too. So we'll follow you,
Absolutely. And
man.
I'm absolutely honored to share my journey with you and all your viewers. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to come back and on the
Cool,
next video, and when these products come out, and for people to follow my journey. I think it's cool.
cool. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Robert. And thank you everybody for watching. Take care and keep inventing. We'll catch up with you guys next time. Bye.
Thank you.